Summer, winter, spring, or fall, getting stranded in your car is no joke. Emergencies can happen at any time. They're unexpected after all, and that's precisely why you should pack an emergency car kit. Having just a few of the items could save your life and the lives of your passengers or pets. Before we begin, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button below and click on all notifications so you stay up to date with all my latest videos. If you're a pet guardian, be sure to check out my list of emergency items you should have in the car for your pet. All the links are in the description box below. Having your own emergency car kit will obviously be tailored to your needs and the needs of your family, including your pets. I'm going to keep mentioning pets, by the way. I'll add a few links again in the description box below in case you do decide to start with a pre-made one. Stay till the end because I have some bonus tips for you. Okay, so the first item we're going to start off with is a visibility vest for obvious reasons. Number 2, you're going to need emergency flares. And number 3, a reflective triangle. And you're asking, Mama, why do I need both flares and a reflective triangle? And I'm going to explain it to you. Both will be seen at night, but it's harder to see the triangle during the day than the flares. You want to catch the attention of the oncoming cars and trucks. You want to be seen. There is a safe and particular way to set up the flares and the triangle. And this method was taught to me many years ago by a Rhode Island state trooper. First, pull over as far off the road as possible, even onto the grass if you can. If you have an emergency visibility vest, put it on, and if you can leave your car, go around the car as far off the road as you can, place the triangle far to the rear of your car, so as far back as you can go, then place a flare as you walk back to the car farther out into the road, and the next flare even farther into the lane to divert oncoming cars and trucks away from you and your passengers, whoever's in your car. If they see the triangle and at least 2 flares guiding them to another lane, they'll have enough time to move away from you and not hit you. There have been so many traffic fatalities with people trying to change a tire and they've been hit. That's happened here in Rhode Island. It's terrible. So you've already learned now how to set up your flares, your flashlight, you're wearing your emergency vest, you want to be seen. Okay, next item, number 4, you want to have some sort of flat tire fix-it. I've used this many years ago. It's enough to get you home or to a repair place. It's easy to use and perfect if you're on your own and you don't have anyone to change your tire. Roadside assistance would come in handy, but this will do to get you to safety. I did have the other spare can in my trunk and actually gave it to an older couple who had a flat. We attended the same outdoor concert and it was after 11 p.m. one hot summer night. I was happy to help them and they were extremely grateful. They couldn't thank me enough and they got home safely. The trick is when you put this in your tire, you have to get in your car quickly and get it moving. You don't want it to settle or to cool off quickly. You want to keep it moving, otherwise it'll just go in like one spot in your tire and you need it to move around. So you actually want to get the car rolling a little bit slowly to move it around the tire. But it does work. Okay, number 5. Flashlight with batteries, that's obvious. Having a flashlight handy is a must in any emergency, obviously. If you know how to check engines and change tires, a light that can sit by itself so that you have both hands free is imperative to keep in your car. Obviously, you want to be hands free. Or a headlamp. This particular light is also an emergency strobe, which will also alert oncoming drivers to your presence. So it's even more to get the attention of the other drivers, to get them away from you. If you're looking for something smaller that will fit in a backpack or your glove compartment, these handy little flashlights are durable, they're shock resistant, and that's good in case you slip and fall in wet or muddy conditions. They're bright enough and they're water resistant. They're small, but they're effective. And again, these are like items that I've used. Number 6, jumper cables. Seems pretty basic, I know, but so many people are driving around without jumper cables. Again, personal experience, I've ridden with a friend whose alternator wasn't charging the battery and we were stranded almost an hour away. She didn't have jumper cables and we were stuck waiting for roadside assistance. It was hot, our moods were slowly deteriorating when a good Samaritan offered to help. He had a pickup truck and jumper cables. The great thing is so many people stopped with their cars and offered to give us a jump if we had jumper cables. So they, who were offering to help us, didn't have jumper cables either. Finally, the guy showed up in the truck. It's crazy. So whether you know how to use them or not, keep them in the car. You just never know. You just never know. Now, to take this basic information a step further, get a cardboard box and a garbage bag, like a big long bag, and high visibility duct tape or reflective tape. I prefer both types of tape, but if you need to get something first, I'd go for the duct tape. It brought home Apollo 13 after all. You're not going to be lugging all this stuff in a garbage bag. Don't worry. You're going to put the open garbage bag in the box and add the rest of the items to the box. Number 9, scissors, shears, or a utility knife, aka Swiss Army knife. And you'll see how you'll end up using these scissors or shears down the road. They're amazing. And my Swiss Army knife, I just love it, love it, love it. I actually trimmed my Christmas tree with it. That's another story for another day. Number 10, you want to have an emergency reflective blanket, or we used to call them space blankets, or an emergency poncho. If you're stranded during the day, you can wrap yourself up in this blanket and it can be seen from miles away. It's reflective. These are thermal and retain 90% of your body heat. Having several in your car, you can always spread one out on the seat and sit on it besides wrapping yourself up in it. Seats get cold, especially if your car isn't running, so you want to keep your body heat in as best you can. You can also take the shears or the scissors and cut a smaller one for your dog or your child, and then use the duct tape to tape the covering around them and lay one out on the back seat too. You want to stay as warm as possible. Now this is obviously for wintertime driving, but you can again still use them even during the summer because they are reflective. So instead of wearing them, you could also cut strips around you. If you have your reflective vest, that's great. But you know, you're going to need something for your pet or your child or your other passengers. So always be prepared. I like to have supplies enough for the number of seats I have in the car. Okay. You can also take one of these and tape it to your roof so you can be seen from the air, your trunk, or your hood. You'll be seen. Remember, if you're stranded, you want to be found by emergency personnel as soon as possible. And the bigger the reflective area, the better if they're flying overhead to look for you. Now, I know I'm talking about extreme things, but again, even during bad rainstorms or if you get washed out, you know, whatever part of the country you're in, this is just important. It's just common sense. They don't take up a lot of space and they're lightweight. You can carry them in backpacks, etc. So that's for another video. Okay, next item, you want to have hand warmers or hand and body warmers. These can usually be found at a checkout in most retail stores, especially in the fall and the winter. Make sure you have several on hand for yourself again and passengers or pets. Never put one of these directly on your pet's skin or put your pet on top of it. Put it under a blanket or a towel and then put your pet on top of it. These come available for 10 hours or 18 hours as shown here in the photo. Number 12, thermal socks kept in a plastic baggie to stay dry. Though you may have your hand warmers, if your feet get wet, you're in a heap of trouble, so keep an extra pair of dry socks handy. Especially, you know, your socks get wet, your shoes are wet, you want to get out of the wet clothing and put on some dry socks and then slip a warmer in. Okay. Number 13. Now we're going into the bonus things, but these are all important and I couldn't just limit them to 10. You want to have several bags of trail mix, peanuts, other snacks. You want protein and healthy fats. So just get some snack baggies and fill them up. Now, if you're like me, I go right for the chocolate and nuts. The link is below. You're welcome. Number 14, hard candy is also a must. One piece a day can save your life if you're stranded for several days. Don't forget a few servings of dog kibble in plastic bags and healthy snacks for Fido and Fluffy. You also want to have water. Number 15, aqua blocks. Just like juice boxes, you can get little boxes of water. One a day will keep you alive. Make sure you just have a few extra water blocks in your car. Now remember, you could keep plastic water bottles, but if you're keeping them in the trunk and they freeze, that plastic leaches into the water. In the heat or the cold, you don't want to be eating plastic contaminants. Your body doesn't know what to do with them, and it stores the plastic strands, the plastic molecules. So please, get the aqua blocks, invest in them, and just don't use them to just drink for whenever. Number 16, emergency rain ponchos. I don't think I need to go into detail about that. Number 17, you want to have some sort of identification and emergency contact information. And this would be for you, your doctor, and if you do have pets, whether you have your pet with you or not, have some information there regarding your veterinarian and even your pet's photo and name. And you want to place these inside a gallon baggie. Make sure it seals tightly. Make sure it's not the zipper top, but that it will actually seal. Gallon size baggie is great for so many things. And if it's a gallon size freezer baggie, even better because the plastic is thicker. So now that you've placed these items in the bag that was in the box, you've got your contents of the box safe and dry. You can always use the pieces of the cardboard box to place under your tires as traction, or you can even keep some flat boxes, that are unmade. You just buy a couple of boxes at at your local store. Don't make the boxes, obviously, and just keep them flat, but you can always use them as tire traction. You can take the scissors again, or your Swiss Army knife, and you can also cut holes in the actual garbage bag for your head and an armhole on each side. I've actually done this as well. I've done this stuff, and it works. It's handy. It's helped a lot. So you can use this garbage bag to protect yourself against wind and rain if you don't have, like I said, the emergency ponchos. And you can also secure the garbage bag around your waist with duct tape. Like, you can just do a big strap around it. So even though you're wearing a black garbage bag, you have that reflective or that bright duct tape around you. And if you have both the reflective tape and the duct tape, you're good to go. These few simple household items can help keep you alive until help arrives. And that's what you want. It's just for emergencies. It's basic, but most of it is DIY. So you can just order these things a little at a time and start building your box. Now, this goes without saying, I don't think I need to put in an honorable mention of an emergency first aid kit. You can get those little bottles of aspirin and non-aspirin pain reliever and the other kind of pain reliever and the anti-inflammatory pain reliever. Those little 99-cent bottles. You can keep those in the car as well. And, you can have your own emergency first aid kit, which I'll put a link below. And I will actually be doing a video on the emergency first aid kit and a DIY kit. You can just start just to have some emergency things right now using a baggie and what you have in the house. So there you go. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. It's good to be back. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and a share on social media. Thanks, and I will see you soon. And Pasha says good night.